Now for the main event. The heart and the passion and the vision of this company was given to him by God, and he works that out relentlessly every day. He's absolutely relentless in his work ethic. Always is there for us when we call. He's always working. He's never good enough, too good for anyone. Has a heart of gold. He's a lion, and that's what I like to follow. And we honor him on this team. What do we honor? We honor that he wants to build $1 billion brand because he wants to bless a lot of people's lives. And he flew all the way from sunny, warm Salt Lake City. I'm trying to talk them into moving the company to Florida. Charity's on board, by the way. And we'll see how much power she has in the near future. But I love him like a brother. We both come from very bad upbringings, but it goes to show you that you are the painter of your canvas. And he took his paintbrush, and now he's, like he said yesterday, painting his vision. And you guys are his vision, his hands and feet. The company does two things. They make the products and they pay commissions. We are the rest. People like to say we're not three. Yes, we are. We are three. And thank God for Daniel. And thank God he's here. We love you. Come on, Lion.
This thing, you hold it down here with the crack.
Okay. Got it. This way. Just this way. Everybody stand up. We're going to get some energy in this room. Put your hands in the air, get a little energy. Hey, turn up the music. Turn up the music a little bit. Turn up the music. Turn it up just for 30 seconds. I'm going to make this thing squeal. But I never knew anybody till I knew. When it rains or it pours. No, I was born to be yours. I never knew anything, but I knew. I never knew anything, but I knew. They already think we're crazy. Put your hands in the air. Was born to be yours. All right, kill the music. Let's do this. First off, thank you guys for having me. I've been sick, as everybody knows, the last few days. I missed the other night, and I want to apologize for that. I've never not shown up, and showing up's 90% of success. So I owe you guys an apology. I was not feeling great, and last night I slept like a log, and I woke up feeling amazing this morning. I'm probably 75, 80%. Thank you. First thing I want to say is Ricky and Francois, thank you for making this happen. This room is packed today because of Ricky Francois, because of, by the way, I want to say this, it's not Dr. Colleen Olitsky, it's Colleen Olitsky, Hillary Schumann. But this room is packed because of so many amazing leaders that show up every day. I don't want you to give me a hand, I want you to give yourselves a hand. Guys, I'm going to jump right into this. First off, you know the company's three. I love quotes. Quotes, I try to send out positive stuff a few times a week on some of the WhatsApp groups. I love quotes because they make you think. Even if it's for 15 seconds, sometimes I'll come back to a quote a day later or a week later or a month later. I love quotes. I put this up. I'm going to run through a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to do it quick today. I'm not going to waste a ton of time. By the way, I almost never use slides. I hate them because they stop you as a presenter. I like to speak from my heart. But I put together some quotes that I absolutely love. I shared a few quotes in Las Vegas last week, but I mixed it up. These are completely different. The first one is success. Guys, I've never met an overnight success. I've yet to meet him. I've never met he or she that just succeeded overnight. Now, I have met people that have done amazing things all over the world in our industry, in business, and all over the world, in non-profit, all over, not just in direct sales, but I've met amazing people that have accomplished amazing things, and we all hear the stories. But I've yet to meet the overnight success. The only thing I know that works. Here's what I would tell you. The only way this doesn't work, the only way you don't succeed is to quit. That's it. End of discussion. There's no such thing as an overnight success, and I want you guys to know you're going to have horrible days. You're like, that's what he came for? Yeah, you're going to have some bad days. I've had some days I wanted to quit. I've had some days I went home to my wife and said, what the heck am I doing? I quit for an hour. I sometimes quit for about 6 hours. I never quit for days. I never quit for weeks. If you quit, it's okay. It's on you, but you have to figure out why it's okay. For me, it's not okay. I've never quit on myself. I want you to put yourself with the Unnemeyers and Dr. Colleen Olitsky. Just kidding. Colleen Olitsky. They're not quitters. They're competitors. We have so many people in this room that are competitors. Guess what? Quit on yourself for a few hours. Don't quit on yourself for more than a few hours. Come back to where you need to be. Next, a little progress adds up to big results. Guys, comparison is the biggest thief of joy. I watch people in this business all the time go, I can't believe that he or she went 3-star in 2 weeks. I've been in this thing 2 months and I'm a 1-star. What is wrong with me? The answer is probably some stuff. But you can grow and get through that stuff if you learn the skill sets. But you want to know what? A little bit adds up each day. And what people have a tendency to do in business and in life is they think 1 day plus 1 day equals 2 days. It doesn't. 1 plus 1 plus another 1 plus another 1 plus another 1. You do that for 21 days, 28 days, it starts multiplying. You wouldn't believe what the universe will bring into your life if you're willing to put in the work. But guess what? You got to go out every day, and it adds up to big success. Next is there's no elevator of success. You have to take the stairs. It's one of my favorites. I came from nothing. The reason I can look anybody in this room in the eyes and say you can succeed in 3 is because I know the deck that was stacked against me. I was a kid with my first brand new pair of shoes I shared in Las Vegas was a pair of Bo Jacksons from Southwest Plaza Mall, $84. I never had new shoes as a kiddo, but I sold chocolate, sold lemonade. I knocked on the doors. I went into a group home for 2.5 years in Colorado. It changed my life. A lot of people know my story. But guess what? I had to go through so much to be up here. Are you willing to go through those things? Most people, you call 3 people and they tell you you're crazy and you never make a 4th phone call. Good. I pity the man or woman, as Jim Rohn says, that inherits $1 million and doesn't have the skills to go with it. I'm telling you, there is no elevator success. You have to go through the trials and the tribulations. I know what it's like to sit in an apartment as a kid right after high school, where my money was shorter than a midget on its knees. I know what it's like to spend $2.25 at the gas pump in Colorado. And the girls say, is that all the gas you're putting in your car? Yeah, that's it. In quarters. That's a true story. But your back has to be against the wall sometimes. Yeah. I don't have a lot of formal education, but I've got a little bit of street education. I've got a little personal development education. It's a little bit different than the degree. I don't have a piece of paper hanging on my wall. People say all the time, do you have an MBA? Nope, but I got a massive bank account. Never let someone who has done nothing tell you how to do anything. Guys, I don't listen to it. I drove my wife crazy. I probably still do 4.5 years. By the way, my wife, if she had a title, none of us are crazy about titles. I don't like all these corp titles. The CMO, the CTO, the CMO. That's like, holy crap, what does all this stand for? A bunch of titles with suits that don't do anything. But if my wife had a title, it would be the Chief Love Officer. The CLO. But I drove my wife crazy at the beginning of our marriage because she'd say, oh, I heard this, I read this, I saw this amazing video. And I would say, what have they done? Most of these people haven't done a whole lot. They want to write a book. They want to become a guru. They want to become a speaker. They want to be Instagram famous. They haven't done shit. Excuse my French, sorry. If you're recording this, delete that. Until you've built something, until you've done something, until you've carried people on your back across the river to get where they want to go, I'll listen to you then. Most people in this room are so worried because when you go to your broke uncle, the plumber, and he says, you're crazy, Lindsay, for getting in that, you go, oh my gosh, maybe my uncle's right. No, your uncle's coming from a good place. He probably loves you. But if he doesn't have what you want, I wouldn't spend 15 seconds listening to him. Now, he might be a great husband. He might be a great father. He might be a wonderful uncle. So don't take that. He might be an amazing person. But if he doesn't have what you want, I learned very young, I'm going to listen to the people that have been there and done that. If you haven't been there and done that, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time listening to you why you failed. You know, there's people that will put somebody every once in a while on a connect call with me, and then I'll follow up with the person and that leader, and I'll say, hey, how did it go? Oh, great, Daniel, you poured your heart and soul out. And they sounded like they were really interested, but we haven't talked to them. We haven't heard from them in a few days. You know what that is? It's called rejection. I'm going to get it. The Undermeyer's going to get it. The Olitskis, I go down the list. Everybody's going to get rejection. But you know what you can't do? Never let a small-minded person convince you your dreams are too big. You have to know why you're doing what you're doing. I used to run in Colorado, dead broke. I'd park my ugly Chevy Beretta. It was two colors, rust and maroon. I'd park that on the other side of town, and I'd run through the neighborhoods and say, what do these people do? Why are they at the country club at 12:30 in the afternoon and I can't pay my cell phone bill? But guess what I did? I had to have a massive vision and a massive goal. And I wanted to be around big thinkers. I heard a saying that says, small-minded people talk about other people. Big-minded people talk about where they're headed. They talk about their vision. They talk about what they're doing, what they're accomplishing, what their goals are. Don't spend 30 seconds letting a small-minded person convince you to have a smaller dream. I want you to raise the bar and have a bigger dream. Next thing, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. Guys, I'm not an idiot. I don't live under a rock. I know that Ricky and Francois' leadership is intense. It's challenging. They put pressure on you. And some of you might not even believe this. They do it because they love you. Your job as a parent, I never had any of my own biological kids. But you know what I did have? I married into an amazing family with an amazing wife with 4 beautiful children who I love and respect. But I never had any of my own biological kids, but I can tell you this. One of the problems with parenting in America, just my 2 cents, everybody wants to be friends with their kids rather than parents to their kids. Too many people want to put their arms around and say, oh, give me a big high five, Johnny, we love you, brother. It's okay, go out and just have fun and party and get drunk and do this as you're 16. As long as you come home, we're still homies. Rather than sitting their kid down and say, you know what, Johnny? This behavior is unacceptable. And I'm your father, and I'm going to tell you it's unacceptable because I want you to be a man someday. Well, guess what? This business is the exact same way. If Francois said something to you, it's because A, she wants to challenge you, and B, she wants to change you. By the way, some people take the challenge and they go, wow, this person's challenging me. Challenge is only one piece of the equation. Does it change you on the other side? I'm looking at a room full of winners. I'm telling you, it's Saturday. You could be doing a bunch of other stuff than being here hanging out with my ugly butt. There's a bunch of winners in this room. I know it because you showed up. I know it because I look, and I'm going to share in a minute with the rank advancements on this team and what's happening just in the last 60, 90 days. I see what's happening. So my question is, are you willing to change? I had to make some massive changes in my own life, and I'll share that in just a minute. Asshole. Sorry, I had to put it up there. What is an asshole? It's a person that constantly asks for your advice, yet always does the complete opposite of what you told him to do. It's called an asshole. Has anybody ever met an asshole? Raise your hand. Sorry, don't mean to offend anybody. By the way, it's not a part in your anatomy, so don't go to your doctor and say, where's my asshole? But guys, how many people have somebody on their team that's asked you for advice? You spend 20, 30 minutes on the phone with them, and they do the exact opposite. Raise your hand. If your hand's not up, you're not building a 3 business. Their hands are up twice. Guys, what's the point in this? If you're going to ask for mentorship and advice, you better be willing to make the change. By the way, you can't lead people if they don't trust you. They can't trust. Thank you so much.
And you're beautiful, Dan. I don't know why.
Oh, you're too kind. Thank you for this. You're very kind. By the way, our products work, as Dr. Snyder said. But we both have a cold. Guys, if you're going to ask for advice, follow the advice. I'm serious. I'm raw and real. I came here to be raw, not to give you a bunch of rah-rah. Difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. This has been the story of my life. You know who else's story is right here in this quote? I should just write right here, Tess. I should just write Tess right here. What a beautiful soul. Guys, some of the most beautiful destinations come through hardships. This comes back to going through the journey, making the calls, going through the rejection, figuring out what your story is, figuring out why you keep getting rejected, figuring out how you change your skill sets, figuring out how you get your dream bigger, how to raise your vision. But you got to go through some of these. And by the way, when you get to the end, you know what I do now? I say this humbly. I pinch myself sometimes. I've spent the last 10 or 12 years pinching myself. Even a few years before I got in this beautiful industry. I sometimes go to places and get invited to places, and I walk in the gate and I'm like, nobody's stopping me. Why am I here? How do I get to meet these people? But I've put myself in that position. I see the places I've been, the countries I've traveled to, the people I've met. It's a beautiful destination. If you would have told me it was possible when I was young, I dreamed of it. I didn't think it was possible. I've lived it. You can live it. I want you to design your life. I said to the group last night, like a blank canvas up here. I look at this industry as my art, like a blank canvas to create this multi-billion-dollar enterprise that we take all over the world. I want you to have your own blank canvas. If you don't design your life, guess what? You're going to work for somebody that does. You need to figure out your life and the beautiful destination and who the people are there with you. Next, the dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. Man, I'm so sick of the dreamers talking about the dreamers. If I see one more Instagram quote from a broke person about big dreams that hasn't done crap in 5 years, I'm going to vomit. Oh, the dreams. I dream of being in Bali with my feet in the sand. You've had the same job for 11 years. You drove the same car for 8 years. You're dead broke. You can't pay your credit card bills. You're what's called a dreamer, but not a worker. You're a wantrepreneur. You're a wantrepreneur. I meet a lot of them. I hear these ideas. Oh, if I just did this, if I just invented the Frisbee. I had the same idea for the yo-yo in 1972, Daniel. And? You want $4? I need a chai tea latte. Oh, wait, that's $5.50. What is that going to get you? Are you a wantrepreneur or an entrepreneur?
Yeah, that's good.
Are you a business operator or a business owner? I want you to own your business. When Ricky calls you and says, and you say, I can't believe what's happened this week. I talked to 3 people. It sucked. Ricky should hang up. This just might not be for you, Janie. If you're only willing to talk to 3 people in a week, that only takes 15 or 20 minutes. What did you do with the rest of the week? My question to you is this. Are you willing to hustle? We can teach you all the skill set. We can teach you both things. We can teach you the how and the what. You need to figure out your why. What we can't teach you is how to hustle. I'll never forget Miss Baumbach, my 5th grade teacher. True story, Miss Baumbach. She was African American. She was black. She used to discipline me, by the way. She used to hit me. You could do that back then. I got hit one time. I came home from school, told my grandma, Miss Baumbach slapped the crap out of me. She said, good, I want to go talk with her and give her a high five. We had an old school chalkboard. I will not talk in class. One time she made me write that 150 times at lunch. Remember all that crap? Miss Baumbach, 5th grade. She knew I didn't have much. And my mom didn't care when I was gone. Miss Baumbach handed me world's finest chocolate. And I still buy it. We have some on our counter last week. I buy it everywhere I go. I shared with the group in Vegas, if they're selling lemonade, I buy it. If they're selling world's finest chocolate, I buy it. Miss Baumbach in 5th grade, I was 11 years old. She said, Danny, I know you want to earn some extra money, young man. Here's a catalog. Never forget it. I said, how do I sell this? She says, I'm a teacher, not a sales lady. She was honest. But guess what I went and did every night till it got dark in Littleton, Colorado? I knocked on every door. And I'd walk up with my little skinny. Believe it or not, I was super skinny. I graduated high school 6'4", 168. Wow. I was skinny. I tell people I used to hang glide on a Dorito. I was skinny. I had to run around the shower 3 times just to get wet. That's a true story. But guess what I did from about 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. every night? I knocked on the doors. And I was hoping they'd sign that old school catalog and check to buy a $1 candy bar from me. And then every once in a while, you'd hit a jackpot. remember this lady had emphysema, she had an oxygen tank. I remember knocking on her door. I used to deliver the newspaper for the Rocky Mountain News and the Denver Post. I'm telling you the whole story, but I used to carry my little wagon, true story. I used to get my little brother that just moved to Salt Lake in March. I used to get him out of bed and say, Mark, get your ass to bed, we're gonna deliver some papers. And I used to roll the Sunday paper when I was 11, 12, and 13, right before I went to state's custody, but I sold World's Finest Chocolate at 11. And this lady that I just got the newspaper out from, her husband had passed away. I'll never forget coming into her house. I came in her house one night about 9 p.m. She opened the door. Miss Timpson was her name. And I used to hit her screen door with the newspaper every morning. We used to see who could throw it the farthest, because the papers, for you, those of you that are young, they used to make newspapers. Anyways, and they were about this big, and I would throw them against the door. And I remember about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night one night, Miss Timpson, I knock on the door. She says, Danny, are you here to collect for the Rocky Mountain News? I said, no, I'm here to sell World's Finest Chocolate. She says, come on in. And I sat down in her smoky little house. She was sweet as can be. Had emphysema. It was the first time I saw somebody with she had one of those trachs in her. She said, sit down. She said, how many chocolate bars do you have there? I said, 23 bars left. She said, give them to me all. I'll take them all. And then she said something that completely changed my perspective on success at 11 years old. She said, how many can you bring me tomorrow? And she wrote me a check. I'll never forget going back with that check, going back to Kaiser Elementary the next day. I was so proud. I said, I sold out last night at the end of the night to one person. How many bars of chocolate can I get? I'll never forget it. And the person that was managing it was actually our PE teacher, Mr. Sapanich. And he says, Danny, that's amazing. How many chocolate bars do you need? I said, as many as you can get. I'm going to go sell them all. And I went back to her house, true story, and she gave me a check the next day for the rest of them. And at 11 years old, it woke something up in me. I have so many life-changing stories that have happened, but at 11 years old, I thought, man, talk about kindness. She was at the end of her life. Talk about generosity. Talking about showing a kid that had worked all night. People wouldn't spend $1 on a chocolate bar, and here's this lady saying, give me the rest. I had a gal in my office the other day say, Danny, you want to buy some Girl Scout cookies? I said, I'm on a diet. That's the last thing I need. But give me the catalog, because when they show up here, they're going to have to hand 1 or 2 boxes to every single team member in the office. I don't need them, but other people do. I can't teach you how to hustle. I can't teach you how to have a heart of a lion. What we can teach you the skill set. I want you to learn how to hustle in here. I want you to learn how, it takes me back. I can remember this stuff like it was yesterday, by the way. Support your friends' businesses and progressions like you support the celebrities you don't know. Man, and I should be kinder to the influencers, because we got a lot out there that are in 3. God love you, we love you if you're in 3, by the way. I want to preface this, if you're in 3, we love all the influencers. We love you. Here's what I want to say. How many influencers get paid millions of dollars to influence the purchase of a product from somebody they don't know? By the way, I'm a hypocrite, because I live on TMC. I want to know what's up. I want to know the tea. Justin Bieber? Wow, he's Christian now? Show me the video. I'm the worst. I can't say I've really bought anything but I love Jordan. I buy his stuff. Hey, I'm a hypocrite. Where am I going with this? Can you imagine how your business would be different if they just supported their brother or sister, or their niece or their nephew or their son? One of the saddest things for me, 8 years in this industry, is see somebody cross the stage and say, my own father didn't believe in me. But the dad's buying a cologne that George Clooney sent a link to on Instagram. What if we supported one another like you support all these celebrities you don't even know? I just want to throw that in there. I stopped explaining myself when I realized people only understand from their level of perception. I had a journey this year. I hired a guy, and I shared this in Las Vegas a year ago, that I was going to go on a journey this year. I had to go on a journey for me. That sounds selfish. For me to love you, I have to love me. I can't love you if I don't love me. I had to figure out the last year how to love me. And for those that are sitting up there going, he leads the company, he's being raw. You're darn right I am. I had to go on a journey this year. I flew back and forth to New York. I jumped on what's called a PJ. Private jet, for those of you who don't know. It's a true story. Huh, bub? I would fly out the evening and say, I'm going to jump in with you could call him a therapist, you could call him a life coach, you could call him a psychotherapist, all the above. I think he's the best in America. I paid him a lot of money. Whatever a 2025 Ferrari costs, multiply it. I'm not kidding. He changed my life. I was on a Zoom with him on Wednesday this week. Changed my life. I said to my wife, I got some changes I got to make. Part of that change was realizing that I'm so intense. I'm so passionate. I've been through so much. I feel like a 150-year-old soul in a 46-year-old body. I've been through so much that it's hard for me to sometimes relate to people. I'm very short with people sometimes. I needed to change that. Ricky said there's 2 Daniels. Sometimes I don't know which one I'm going to get. He told me that. You ready? On March 13th, 2023. Wow. 3 weeks into the company we call 3 in pre-launch. I was standing on the airport waiting for a lift, and he told me that, and I wrote it down on my phone. He was right. What if I would have ran from that comment? What if I would have ran from my wife a year ago when she says, you need to heal some issues you've had for a long, long time. Whew. I'd never been married before. Some people get married 4 or 5 times. Sometimes, by the way, it's not the Lone Ranger. Sometimes it's Tonto. You got to look at yourself. I wanted to look at myself this year. How do I grow? How do I grow me to serve you? How do I grow me? And I didn't need to grow my heart. I needed to grow my understanding of myself. But part of that journey is realizing that you've got to meet people where they're at. I'm an information overloader. By the way, I'd be the worst in the field. I'm going to say this publicly. Because I'd call somebody if I go, Julie, let me just tell you what this is. I found something that is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I got this collagen, I got this t-shirt now, I don't even know what it is, polyphenols. And then I got this, and then I met this guy, Ricky, he's bald. He just got up on the stage, he started doing all this stuff. And then this one lady, Dr. Colleen, she has some Ferrari, and she started dancing up on stage, and she was like a dentist or something. And then her husband, they got big old smiles and stuff. And then just give me your credit card, I'm in if you're in. I'd be like an auctioneer if I was in this business. Because I'm in information. Is that right, love? My wife sometimes after 2 minutes says, turn it off, dude. Because I information overloader. And there was this guy, anyways. I had a journey to go on. There's only a couple more of these. I got about 10 minutes left. Ricky, I need your help one more time. There we go. To positively affect someone's life and to be able to help them be the greatest they can be is the best gift you could ever give. This is not a business to me as much as it's a movement to me. We're going to change people's lives where they cross the stage and they say, Daniel, because of you, I believe in me. Because of me, I believe in me. Because of we, I believe in me. I can't think of a greater gift than being able to impact somebody's life. I can't think of a greater gift than a 15-year-old kid who lost his father from stage 4 cancer. Our youngest son sitting me down right before he went on a mission and saying, you know what, Papa Picou? You're pretty cool. I can't think of a greater gift than to look at the lives that the people in this room have affected and changed the last few years. There's no greater gift in the world than helping somebody be the best they can be. I got this, no big deal at all. The more I think it over, the more I feel that there's nothing more truly artistic than to love people. Vincent van Gogh, probably one of the greatest artists in the world. I love art. He was crazy. Chopped off his ear when he was having some issues. It's a little more than issues, by the way. Doc, what's going on, Vincent? I chopped off my ear. Oh, crap. You need to go to the hospital, then call me. There's nothing more truly artistic than to love people. I joked with the leaders last night, but it wasn't a joke. In the Undermeyer's backyard, my wife, first thing she says, I'll say, I can't believe this happened with Bob Jones. And Daniel, what's our job? It's to love people. I learned so much from her. I've learned so much in just the last 4.5 years. Most beautiful thing that's truly artistic is to love people. By the way, that's got to be a genuine love. If it's a shallow love, people can see right through it. People can see a phony from 3 miles away. I can see a phony from about 10 miles away because you know it. You can feel it. You can know how they look in your eyes. When I look in somebody's eyes and say, I want you to know I believe in you and love you, they know that's raw and that's real. Learn how to love people. Next thing is, you're amazing. Remember that. I told Francois, it's very raw the other night, you don't need to be perfect. I told Ricky, you don't need to be perfect. I'm going to tell each and every one of you, you don't need to be perfect. I want you to go make a big giant mess in this business. I want you to go screw it up because we can clean it up. But we can't teach you the heart and the hustle. You got to have a hustle muscle. You got to be willing to do this day in and day out. I started very young. It's very hard for me, by the way. My wife and I will have conversations. I'm being vulnerable with you here about our 4 kids. Kids are just different nowadays. I was watching a comedian. He said to his son recently, kids have no swagger today. He says, our kids are just different, right? He said to his son, let's ride, Clyde. He said, who's Clyde, Daddy? He said, get your butt in the car. Well, guess what? With our kids, I'm a worker. Doesn't matter who it is in our family. I'm a worker. You work for what you have. So with my wife, she's been so sweet. And my wife at the beginning would say, Daniel, I know how you are. You were probably the extreme on the other side. I'd say, well, can we at least meet in the middle? Because I believe that God rewards those that put in the time and effort. I believe that you can take 1 step and God will take 2. But some people never even take that first step. So I would first tell you, you're amazing. We can't teach you the hustle and the heart, but what I do want to teach you is how to leave this room and say, you know what, I've got some confidence, I'm amazing. I love me. And you know what, this business is meant for me. And you know what, if I can help other people love themselves too, and I can get a small team together, if I can get 1, I can get 2. And if I can get 2, I can get 4. And if I can get 4, I can get 8. And if I can get 8, I can get 16. And I just need to look them in the eyes and tell them I love them and I believe in them. And then I need to challenge them. And then I need to make them grow. And that's all this business is. There's no magic here. Everybody's looking for the guru or the magic pill. There's not one. It's a little bit of hustle muscle. It's a lot of heart. It's a lot of integrity, telling the truth, following through. Don't tell somebody you're going to show up and you don't show up. That's not leadership. You need to show up even if they don't show up. If they don't show up, it's like Jim Rohn says, John, why weren't you at the meeting on Tuesday night? And Jim Rohn says, don't worry that John didn't show up. Don't take that class. Worry about the ones that do show up. But my message to you is you're amazing. I want you to remember that. I've got about 2 minutes and I'm done. I've got to walk off. But I want to share with you just a couple things. Number 1, it's time to step up. I look at a room full of leaders. You guys are doers, not talkers. If I went around the world of 3, by the way, there's a lot of talkers, not doers. It's the flip side in this room. These are doers, not talkers. I watch how the group, before we got started today, the volunteers and the servant leadership putting the room together, we got a group of doers. But it's time for this room to step up. I want to break a bunch of 4 stars and 5 stars and 6 stars. My message to you is step up, and I'm done in 90 seconds. My next message, we're going to give you the tools you need from the company. Ricky nailed it. My job's to pay you commissions and ship products, but we're going to give you some kick butt tools that you need. But this system they have, it's not only working, it's thriving, and it's kicking butt. I'm proud of them. My next thing is we're going to announce a nonprofit in June. You got to have something bigger than yourself. We're doing this because there's something bigger than ourselves. If there's not something bigger than yourself, shame on you. Why did I write this? I wake up in the morning and tell my wife, I'm not George Clooney, I'm not Brad Pitt, but she's a lucky woman. Why did I say that? You got to have fun. Too many people take themselves way too serious. I wear dorky stuff around the house. My wife will say, you're not going out in public like that. I'll say, sure I am, because I like it. I don't care if anybody. I want you to have fun. We take ourselves way too serious. 60 seconds and I'm done. You ready? I put dream big. I'll never forget crying at the back of the Ritz-Carlton yacht by myself. How did I go from the Tennyson Center for Children to giving the Ritz 6 figures cash? Up front, by the way, they don't do loans. To giving the Ritz 6 figures cash so I could take some of the most amazing human beings on a global trip with me. I shared a bunk bed with 4 other kids at 13 years old. I was in the back of the Ritz singing to myself Kid Rock song, I want a yacht with the flag saying chillin' the most. So I can rock this yacht up and down the coast. I really was singing that song in the back of the Ritz. I want to recognize, since November 2024, new 3 stars and above. I want to give you the honor you deserve. Brittany Schulsel. Brittany, are you here? No. How about Jessica Cummings? Give Jessica a big hand. How about Margarita Hardy? Come on, Margarita, 3-star since November. How about Teresa Stoker? Teresa, give Teresa a big hand. How about Joanne Limbaga? Put your hands together, Joanne. How about Maria Alexa Jamora, 3-star? Let's go. How about Susie Ceruto, 3-star? Let's go, Susie. How about Whitney Odell, 3-star? How about Danielle, and I'm going to butcher her name, Borsharoo. Danielle, amazing job. Give her a hand. How about Madison Callahan? Let's go, Madison. And how about Lisa Aikson? Guys, these are the new 3 stars in U-Crew since November. 3 stars and above. I love you guys. We've got to leave in I'm here, I can think another 45 minutes. We love you guys from Charity and I. Thank you guys for being here. Wow.
What a blessing, huh? What a blessing. Gotta say it again. What a blessing. I mean, I have goosebumps on my unhairy legs right now. So, absolutely phenomenal. That's the owner of our company. That's not a motivational speaker. All heart, right? As I said, heart of David, and that's why God's blessed.